How's it going, guys? This is Ryo Murata, photographer based in Tokyo. So Tokyo Big Sight is actually another one of my series that I've been working on for the past couple of years or so. If you have followed me for like 3 years or 3 years or so, I have been shooting around the Koto area, aka district, and in the past I have shot Harumi-Futo, Tokyo International Cruise Terminal, Toyosu, Ariake, Takebashi area, and also in this time Tokyo Big Sight. And Tokyo Big Sight I am actually not a fan of because a lot of people might know, if you're into anime and stuff like that, that's actually where it's held, the anime convention. I'm not myself of a type of a geek in that field, unfortunately, but it's like a convention area, conventional center, which means that a lot of people visit there. There's a lot of sort of like corporate like meetups, corporate like introductions, stuff like that, and various other types of exhibitions, events going on periodically. And when that happens, there's a lot of people, and you guys probably know from looking from my images that I shot in the past, I try to minimize the amount of people entering the frame. And it's not like I'm an antisocial person, well, I might be, but I actually like sort of like this isolated look to my image, and that's what I'm trying to create in my series in the Koto Ward. And Tokyo Big Sight, I had been procrastinating for a pretty long time and was like waiting for that opportunity, but unfortunately I did not have any time at my spare hand, and I basically went there like understanding that there's going to be a ton of people. I went there on the weekends to basically shoot photos with my main camera, the Fuji GW690 Mark III. Why Tokyo Big Sight is actually located on the Tokyo monorail called the Yuri Kamome, and this is basically a monorail that connects between Toyosu or from Shinbashi. So from either one of those like stations, you can basically access riding the monorail, and this monorail is actually the one that basically stops at Odaiba, so the more touristy type of area where there's the miniature version of the Statue of Liberty and stuff like that. But I went a little bit off topic, but this time I went to Tokyo Big Sight to just shoot some photos. After like shooting around that area, getting my film negatives back, and also scanning them, post processing them, and incorporating into my video, I realized that I have to give a pat on my back because shooting at a convention center with a lot of people, and I try to minimize the amount of people entering the frame. This was a tough assignment, and I had to like take a coffee break actually for doing this, and I had to basically like rethink and visualize how I should like shoot this area, in particular, because it would have been nice if there were not many people, but there was a hell lot of people. So trying to like mix and match my type of photography while the whole scenario was like bombarded by people, that was back-breaking. However, it was rewarding in the end because I was able to grab a couple of great shots in my opinion. And at the same time, I have to mention this, but the Kodak Gold 200 120 medium film stock is my go-to film stock most of the time. I have to admit that this film stock does perform really well, especially in this time of season where we're sort of like shifting from the springtime to the summertime in Japan right now. It's really awkward, especially Tokyo right now, because it was like really cold. It was like 5 to 10 degrees Celsius in Japan, in Tokyo, until recently. Last week, this week, it sort of like shot up to like 15 degrees Celsius to 20 degrees Celsius, and the sakura is actually starting to bloom. However, it's been, what, 100 years or so ever since sakura bloomed this late in the year. Typically, it blooms in the beginning of the end of February or so, but right now it's like, end of March, beginning of April. Right now it's April, right? So the temperature is increasing, and at the same time the light source is actually increasing, and that's actually one of the things I wanted to comment on. Kodak Gold 200 120 medium format does perform much better when there's more light source entering into the film negatives and hitting the silver and all the the chemistry involved, and kind of illuminates, gives this sort of like majestic glow to the image, and that's actually where this stock shines the most. And I really enjoy shooting with Kodak Gold 200 120 right now when it's not too hot but not too cold. 15 degrees Celsius to 20 degrees Celsius is my favorite temperature to shoot outside when there's the sun going out, shining peacefully through the day, midday, in the afternoon. And it just gives this like really nice, I don't know, vibe to the image. And just enjoy the shooting with that film stock, when it's like really sunny. But the opposite, when it's like during the the winter season, I think I said it doesn't perform that well because Gold 200 120 film is a 200 ISO film, and during the winter season there's not much light, so you really don't get a really majestic glow to the image, unfortunately, in most cases. So yeah, that's one area to mention. And that being said, there were a couple of shots I messed up actually, which I think for educational purpose I should mention on this video. And one is basically one of the shots where there was a family of 3 sitting on the right side, and there was this object on the far left. And you guys probably know the GW690 Mark III uses a 90mm lens on the medium format, which is equivalent to 35 to 40mm equivalent on the 35mm film format. And because it's a prime lens, you basically have to like move with your feet. This time in particular, I kind of wish the family of 3 was sitting in the middle. So if they were sitting in the middle, I could basically shift my angle of perspective to the left, so I can basically accommodate the object on the left side. And also the family of 3, there's a bench right beside that. I can basically cut that off, so which makes the whole like image much more, I guess, peaceful, and also much more, I guess, visually appealing in my opinion. But the family of 3 was sitting on the far right, unfortunately, and I was like, oh no, I couldn't get that shot, and I kind of regret that moment. And at the same time, I was basically sitting neck to neck with sort of like a glass barricade from preventing people from falling from the rooftop actually. So that was actually a mess up that I made in one of my photos. And at the same time, I should have sort of like shifted my camera more to the left so I could accommodate that object on the left side. But that's the great thing about this camera, the GW690. You only have 8 shots, and kind of tells you directly that you got the shot or you did not get the shot. And that's actually one of the great things about the GW690, because you have less exposures, less shots. It kind of makes you an educated person, because one shot equates to more dollars per shot compared to shooting with a 6x7. And while 6x7 and 6x6 and 645, you get more opportunities. You can basically test and trial and fail much more at a greater pace because you get more exposures. But the GW690, you can't do that because you get the shot or you do not get the shot. It's sort of like Tower Records, what was it? Slogan, no music, no life kind of thing. You get the shot or you do not get the shot. GW690 kind of. So that's actually one of the slap in my face actually. So yeah, I guess that's like one of the mishaps that happened during this shoot. And another shot that I kind of messed up was that there's basically this red saw object, I don't know, monument, and basically shot one where there was a person, I guess two lovely dovely couples like taking a rest right beside the sort of like the what was it? The saw itself actually. And this time during the day, that saw was basically blocking the light source, so unfortunately it wasn't illuminating from the other side, so I couldn't see the face of the lovely dovely couples unfortunately. And that's another thing that I cannot change, unfortunately. It's basically where the light's hitting the, you know, the object, the subject. So I should have changed the time of, or maybe I should have like visited a different time of day, but if I do that, they wouldn't be there. So this is sort of one of those like rare occasions where the light wasn't there to get that magnificent sort of like shot kind of. So that's like one of the areas I kind of messed up on this shoot. And yeah, I basically enjoy shooting around Tokyo Big Sight. It would have been nice if there was less people, but it was actually chaotic to like actually shoot inside Tokyo Big Sight, because that's actually where people are swarming, going to like exhibitions and stuff like that. So there wasn't anything particularly interesting inside Tokyo Big Sight, unfortunately. It's more like I like to like walk around Tokyo Big Sight and just take my patience, take my time, just shooting around. And it was actually, like I said, a great experience. And yeah, it would have been nice if there was less people, but unfortunately there is. And after like shooting Tokyo Big Sight, I basically looked at the, what was it, the monorail system. You can basically like search it up on Google. Every single like train that passes around Tokyo, you can basically check like where it stops and stuff like that. And I realized that there's actually only 2 stations that I haven't shot photos around, which is Tokyo Telecom Center and Aomi, if I'm right. And I'm not sure about Aomi, if I don't know what surrounds in that area. I'm just kind of skeptical that I'm not going to be shooting that area, but Tokyo Telecom Center is sort of like a broadcasting type of area where TV shows and studios are located. Actually, the news weather forecast, if I'm right, is around that area. So I'm thinking of shooting around that area next time if I have the time and energy, and if the sun is actually shining during the weekends. I should actually allocate some time and shoot there, and finally finish my series of the Koto Wards and maybe make a design if I can. But yeah, this Tokyo Big Sight, it will fit my sort of like series of that area. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, found it informative. If you have any questions, happy to reply. And yeah, we'll see you next time. Peace out.